You know that banking app in your pocket? Well, it's not just for checking your balance anymore. It is going through a massive transformation. It's getting smarter, way more personal, and a whole lot more powerful. So what's really next for that little icon on your screen? Let's dive in.
Okay, just think about this for a second. What if your bank wasn't just reactive? What if it was always one step ahead, making suggestions and offering help before you even knew you needed it? That's the huge idea we're going to unpack here. To really get where we're going, you first have to see how tangled up these apps are in our lives already. Check this out. A whopping 62% of us open our banking apps every single day. That's probably more often than you check the weather. It's become a daily habit, and that habit is the launchpad for everything we're about to talk about. And this whole trend, it's not slowing down, it's speeding up. We're looking at a massive growth rate of 13.2% every year through 2027. What that really means is that banks are pouring some serious money into making these apps smarter, faster, and basically indispensable. And this isn't just happening here and there. This is a global thing. We're on track for almost 4 billion mobile banking users worldwide by next year. I mean, that's just wild. So think about it. We use them daily, the industry is booming, and it's happening all over the planet. This is simply how we do money now.
All right, so the first big shift we're seeing, it's all about getting personal, like really personal. The idea is to transform your banking app from just a simple tool for moving money around into something that feels more like a personal financial guide that lives right in your pocket.
And the engine behind all this? It's a concept called hyper-personalisation. But look, it's not magic. It's just banks using really smart tools, AI and big data, to create what's basically a financial fingerprint that's totally unique to you. They look at everything from your morning coffee habit to that big vacation you took last year, and they use all that info to build an app experience that honestly feels like you designed it yourself.
So what does that actually feel like when you're using the app? Well, it means getting advice that's actually based on how you spend money. It's seeing recommendations for products that you might actually want, not just random ads. Plus, you get the useful stuff, like custom alerts for your bills, tools to track your budget, and even some fun things, like sending a GIF when you pay your buddy back for lunch.
And let's be clear, this isn't just a gimmick anymore. It's a must-have. Get this, 76% of people now say they get frustrated when an app isn't personalized. The tables have totally turned. A one-size-fits-all experience just feels old and broken now.
So at the end of the day, it all boils down to this. Your bank is learning to think like you. It's starting to see your patterns, predict what you might need next, and just stay one step ahead. It's like having a financial co-pilot who actually genuinely understands how you operate.
But this whole personalization thing, that's just the beginning. See, once your bank understands you on that level, they don't want to stop at just managing your money. Nope, the ambition is way bigger. They want to become the one, the only super app you'll ever need.
And people are totally here for it. A massive 86% of us would rather have just one powerful app that can do everything, from applying for a loan to booking a flight. We're all so over having a million different apps on our phones, and it looks like the banks are finally getting the message.
Yeah, the big picture here is to create this whole seamless ecosystem. Just picture it. You use one app to apply for your mortgage, get insurance for the new place, book the moving truck, and even set up your electricity, all in one spot. That's the kind of all-in-one world they're trying to build for us.
Okay, but all this amazing tech is pretty useless if it's too complicated for people to actually use, right? So the big question is, how do you make an app that works just as well for a teenager getting their first debit card as it does for their grandpa who's managing retirement funds? And when you look at the numbers, you see this huge generational split. You've got Gen Z, where pretty much everyone, we're talking 89%, is using mobile banking. But then you look at baby boomers and it's only 39%. That's a massive 50-point difference. And closing that gap is a major headache for banks right now.
And it makes sense, because they're coming from totally different places. A Gen Z user who grew up with this stuff, they probably want all the bells and whistles, customization, cool features, you name it. But for a boomer, it's all about feeling safe. Is it secure? Is it easy to use? Those are the deal breakers. And the app has to somehow be perfect for both of them.
So, to try and get everyone on the same page, we're seeing a bunch of new features pop up. Things like tools right inside the app to help you learn about money, or even separate apps designed just for kids. They're also adding things like sustainable investing options and, this is super important, making the apps accessible for people with disabilities.
All right, for this last part, let's look to the future. With so much of our personal information and powerful tools all packed into one app, how are they going to keep it all safe? And not just safe, but also reliable and, not a pain to use.
Well, a huge piece of the puzzle is biometrics. Your fingerprint, your face, that's becoming the new password. And it's kind of the best of both worlds, right? It's incredibly secure, but it's also incredibly easy. Finally, no more trying to remember which password you use for your bank.
And remember that generational gap we were talking about? Here's a really smart way banks are tackling it. They're building flexible apps. So you might have a light mode that just shows you the basics, simple, clean, easy. But then there's also a pro mode for people who want to see all the data, all the charts, the whole 9 yards. You get to pick what works for you.
And if we look even further down the road, the next big thing is already on its way. We're talking about banking right from your watch, seamless integration with all your wearable tech. We're going to see the rise of things like central bank digital currencies that could literally change what money even is. And those robo-advisors, they're about to get even smarter and even more predictive. So when you put it all together, we're left with one huge question. The path forward is pretty obvious. Your bank wants to be the center of your digital universe. It wants to be your go-to super app for everything. The only thing left to ask is, are you ready to give it the keys to the kingdom?